after a period of mourning for Pope Francis's death on Easter Monday. The conclave started on Wednesday, and on Thursday afternoon, we already have our new Pope. Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost is now known as Pope Leo XIV. If we are to gather anything from his name that he's chosen, is that he is going to want to emulate the previous popes that had the name Leo. He's only been a cardinal since 2023. And apparently, according to his brother, I saw in an interview, a woman on their street, apparently she predicted that he would be the first American pope. I don't know what to say to that. She either prophesied or it was a lucky guess, but that's a very lucky guess. It was always said that there wasn't a very high likelihood that there would ever be an American pope. So this is pretty interesting. He was clearly very emotional when he came out from behind the curtain. I was watching and you could see he was choked up. He seemed very touched, in my opinion, that he gets to be the 267th Pope in the succession of St. Peter. It was touching to me because only recently I found out about a dig that had happened under St. Peter's back in, I think it was the 1940s. They had found in layers underneath that there was bones and there was an engraving in the stone that said Peter is here. So he was literally, like, I never knew that with other conclaves and when new popes came in. I only learned that within the last year. So it was very touching to see him standing there knowing that he's standing on the spot that's above where Peter's bones had been for 2 millennia almost. So it was really very touching to watch. He's part of the Order of St. Augustine, and he's considered to be more centrist. So he's not too far left, not too far right. From what I heard, he's known to be somebody who listens to different people and their perspectives. So, it doesn't sound like he's going to be somebody that's going to, rule the church with an iron fist. He seems like a very compassionate individual from what I gather. He spent a lot of time in missionary work, especially down in Peru. A lot of people were worried about, is this going to be bad if it's an American pope, because for some reason, because the political atmosphere of America right now and all that. But he clearly did not mention America at all in his speech today. And so I think that he was sending a message that, he's not about just the country that he came from. He is here to lead the church. It was actually kind of weird that today I had to go and get an injection in my belly at the cancer center that I go to for my breast cancer. And it keeps me in menopause because I have a hormonal breast cancer. And after I was done, I asked my stepfather if he could drop me off at my church because I knew adoration was going on in the side chapel, the Marian chapel that's in the church. And so I went in and there was only about a half hour left. So I spent about 20 minutes in there. And strangely enough, no one else was in there. So when I went in, first I was sitting in the pew and I was gazing at the Eucharist. And I just decided to sit down on the floor right in front of where it was, maybe 6 feet from it because it was up on the altar. But it was just me and Jesus, and I just I've been saying prayers for different things. One of my prayers were for the conclave. So I came home, and unfortunately, I've been watching Reason and Theology with Michael Lofton, and he was covering it live. And he said in about an hour there was either going to be black smoke or white smoke, and I was prepared to watch, but I've been exhausted recently for reasons that I won't get into. I haven't been getting enough sleep. Nothing that's my fault, just a lot of noise that's been keeping me up. So I ended up falling asleep. So I didn't get to see this live. So I've now seen it, but I was so mad. But, I'm happy that we have our new Pope. So we finally have somebody to guide the church again, and he praised Pope Francis in his speech, which was really touching as well. Most people think that he's going to be a nice mix between possibly Pope John Paul II and Pope Francis, which is an interesting combo. So we have our Pope, our Papa, and he's there to guide us. And for 2 millennia, we have had 267 popes now. And it's too early to really judge him, in my opinion, but I'm sure that people out there, I hear people out there already are. Give the guy a chance. It's early. But anyway, everybody should be praying for the Holy Father, and there's really no excuse not to. And all my prayers go out to him, and I pray that his pontificate is amazing. He's only in his 60s, so he could be around for a good 20 years like Pope John Paul II. So we'll see where it goes. Hopefully it'll all be great. I know he's not going to be conservative enough for some. He's not going to be liberal enough for some. But I think centrist is really what we kind of need right now, because everybody is so partisan all across the planet. Mostly in North America, though. It's gotten really bad here. But yeah. So welcome to Pope Leo XIV.